Hi all, hope you're all well. Hope last week's session went really well. Pyramid session is always good fun. It's always quite hard, but I hope it went well for you. If you got any comments and you want that session included again, or there's other things that you want to look at, if whether it's a shorter rest, then just let us know and we can maybe incorporate it into the next plan. Hopefully by April we'll all be back running together, and maybe it's scope that we can actually start looking at some more technical skills whilst we're out running in our groups of 6 or whatever that might be. So this week is continuous hills, otherwise known as Kenyan Hills. A lot of people who may have trained with me or whatever will know Kenyan Hills. So what are Kenyan Hills or continuous hills? I believe Anne will know continuous hills. Me and Anne had a chat when we was coming up with this plan, and we thought continuous hills would be a good one to add in. So continuous hills are basically, you find a small hill, it doesn't have to be massive, somewhere like Bunkers Hill in Beacon Park, or it can be on the time trial route, that little hill there. It can be anywhere, it doesn't have to be massive, but you could use somewhere like Grange Lane if you really wanted a harder session. But the idea is we're going to start at the bottom of the hill and we're going to run up the hill for 45 seconds. When we get to the top, we're not going to stop, we're just going to turn around and we're going to run down again for 45 seconds. Now the aim of the session is to run up for 45 and down for 45, making sure we get to the same place every single time. When we get down to the bottom, we're not going to stop, we're just going to go straight back up again for 45 seconds, and we're going to do this 6 times. So I'm just going to repeat basically what I've said. We're going to run up the hill for 45 seconds, turn around and go straight back down for 45 seconds. When we get to the bottom, we're going to turn around and go back up, and then back down again, and we're going to continue that for about 6 times. It's quite a difficult session to get our head around, but just remember 45 seconds out, 45 seconds back on a hill. It's going to be quite difficult, it's going to be tough, but it's a good fun session to do. If you really want more of an advanced session, then we can maybe take a 3-minute break in between and we can go again 2 or 3 times, depending on your level of ability and your fitness level. But as I've mentioned in most of the videos that I've done for the LRC members, we need to remember warm up and cool down correctly. Warming up and cooling down is absolutely critical for any session that we do. 10 to 15 minute jog with some kickbacks, high knees, leg raises, anything like that we want to do, star jumps, it doesn't matter. Anything we're doing that's raising our heart rate is absolutely critical before we do any session. And then the same in reverse when we're cooling down. We want to start off with a light jog, 10 to 15 minutes, go into a bit of walking, it could be power walking, it could be walking, it doesn't matter, and then making sure at the end of the session we're doing some stretches. Only stretch at the end of a session. Stretches at the end of a session are great to make sure we're getting all that lactic acid out of our muscles, but you don't want to do them before. Before a session, we're talking dynamic stretches, as I've said, star jumps, kickbacks, knee raises, stuff like that. At the end of a session, that's when we're doing our static stretches. Static stretches can be anything you want to do. Come up with some ideas yourself. Let us know in the LRC members chat. You don't have to post videos. You don't have to do any of that. But just maybe even put a link to a website that you've seen where they're doing some stretches. Anything is helpful. So this week, because we're doing hills, the key weekly focus is going to be on arms. So arm drive is really important. I'm going to try and do a post later on in the week to show people what the arm drive needs to look like. But effectively, we need to make sure we're bringing our arm directly out and not crossing our body. I'll quickly try and demonstrate what I mean. So the arm is coming out like this and not like that. So try and consciously, as you're running up the hill, think about where your arms are going, and the arm should be coming out. If your arm seems to be coming across your body and you're running like this, try and bring it back to the straight position. So just try and focus on that this week. Nothing major. As I say, I will try and put some more posts later on, but let us know how you get on. Let us know what you think. These sessions are all for you. It's all about working together, trying to improve our running. And obviously hills are quite difficult, and as we go back into races, hills are going to become more prominent. Races, they're full of hills. You never get rid of them. Lichfield 10k, we've got Darnford Hill. You might want to do this session on Darnford Hill, I don't know. I would say if it's the first time doing continuous hills, maybe choose a smaller hill, somewhere like Bunkers, or just a small simple hill. Focusing on arm drive though. As we're running up that hill, bring that arm out straight. Don't let it cross your body. But remember, warm up, cool down, and have a great session. Cheers all, see you next week.